Me and Joel, Bisaya reader, welcome back to another video, and for today I'm going to do my another set of recommendations. And yeah, for this video I am going to present to you some of the mystery thriller books that I highly recommend you guys need to check or you guys need to read if you haven't read them. Basic disclaimer: the books that I'm going to show you are not necessarily my all-time favorite books. I'm going to recommend these books not because I personally really love them or they are my favorites. I am going to recommend these books because I do see that a wide variety of readers are going to enjoy these books. Again, at the end of the day, people enjoy the books based on what gravitate them towards these books, what are their preferences. The books I'm going to present to you will be potential books that a majority of the readers will definitely enjoy. This is part of my book recommendation series. I have started filming and recommending books from middle grade fantasy to young adult contemporary, young adult science fiction, young adult. So we'll shift the category from middle grade and young adult. We're going to adult this time, and yeah, this is the adult mystery thriller recommendations. The first book I'm going to recommend to you guys is basically, I think most of you have heard of this book. There's already a movie adaptation for this, and this is The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. I read this a couple of years ago. I personally did not like this book. I actually really hate it. The main reason why I did not like this book is because it was really boring and dragging and very predictable. You just can't stop yourself hating the main character. Like, she's so unreliable. This book, we are following our main character as she is, divorced, and she still can't move on from the separation from her previous husband. And her previous husband do have already a new family. It's not a spoiler, it's on the synopsis. She has been, it became a habit of her to observe a new couple, like a newlywed couple. She don't know their names, they're just really young and look lovely. Every day for the past couple of months she's been observing this couple, and then one day she just found out that this girl has been cheating on the husband. Like, this girl is seeing another guy, and she was surprised because, again, she thought that the couple was strong, was perfect. Few days fast forward, she just discovered that the girl is missing. Nobody knows where the girl is. The girl who cheated on the husband. Yeah, that's how the story started. It's a girl on the train, and we have this main character who is the only witness for the murder. And at the same time, she's really unreliable because he do have this mental problems. He's very alcoholic also. If you hate predictable, unreliable characters, you need to avoid this one. The next book I'm going to present to you is probably one of the best books I've read in my entire life, which is Totally Unexpected. Just a heads up, I am just really new and not really that familiar with regards to this genre, mystery thriller. I really started reading mystery thriller like 2018, 2019. It was really 2019 that I was able to really see myself enjoying mystery thriller, and I was really shocked. I think that was a revelation for me as a reader. And I had read this last year, Big Little Lies, and probably one of the best books I've read last year and also in my entire life, because of the main characters like Madeline and the other set of characters were just very memorable, very iconic. I can see a lot of moms or grandmas or aunts who's going to enjoy this. Personally, I did not really see myself enjoying this, but I was really shocked and surprised. We are following a group of friends. We are following these three main characters, and then how am I going to expect the synopsis is actually really vague. I am not really that confident telling you what the story is all about because I don't want to spoil you guys. It's actually a school yard scandal because there's actually some moms who are sending their kids in the school, dropping them off on the school, and then the kids around first grade, second grader, do you have some problem? And then mom step in and then defend their child, even though their child is the one who committed mistake. So eventually the argument from the child raises to the parents, and the parents just have these several fractions or factions. It's a lot. It's funny. It's very mysterious. It's not predictable, and the writing style was superb. And if you're looking for a mystery thriller with a not predictable plot and also great, the best characters you could ever can ever imagine, I highly recommend this one. The next book I'm going to recommend to you guys is probably another favorite of mine, and this is The Dry by Jane Harper. And this is her debut novel, and I do see, and I was really surprised that I did enjoy this because I did not really expect I'm going to love this. I was blown away by this book and the last part. This is not a perfect book. There's some issues with the pacing because I do see that some parts of this book was a little bit were a little bit dragging. This is we follow our main character Aaron Faulkner. He's actually a detective, but he is a detective in a legal side, not on the murder side. He went back to this very outback, layback, secluded town in Australia where it's really during a dry season where he grew up to attend a funeral of his childhood friend. It's a funeral of five-member family because it was suspected that his childhood friend, the father of the family, killed his entire family. And while he was attending the funeral, the parents of his childhood friend asked him to help them to clear their son's name because they don't believe that their son will able to do and kill the family. The parents begged, and then he decided to help, and that's where the story started. It's really atmospheric. While reading this book, you'll be able to really imagine what's really is around, or what the road is, or what the house looks like, and you can really feel how humid and how uncomfortable the environment is where the characters are located in the book. And this is somewhat kind of predictable. There is some issues with regards to perspectives because there's some perspectives that are flashbacks when the main character is still young together with his childhood friend who's still young. Flashback during your childhood, and then he's trying to investigate who really did murder the entire family. And he's trying to prove that it was not his childhood friend. It was really not good read for me for the first two-thirds of the book, but the last part really blew me away. I didn't really expect that it was really that good. It was really emotional, and yeah, it was a really good debut novel. So if you're looking for a very atmospheric, not so predictable writing style, and also one of the best male character ever, Aaron Faulkner, I highly suggest you need to read this one. The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. This is a mystery thriller book that I have been talking about. I've been recommending to my friends for a couple of months now. A lot of my friends said, "Oh, hey, I want to try the mystery thriller genres. Can you recommend me some of the books you want us to read?" And the first book that always comes into my mind is The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager, because, boy, this book is phenomenal for me. It does have the same atmospheric vibe of The Dry by Jane Harper. And this one, it's more of a darker atmosphere, colder atmosphere, and like darker, colder, and lonelier atmosphere. We are following our main character. She is a painter, a kind of famous painter. While she was still a girl, she experienced one of the most scandalous mystery and murder happened in their country. There's four girls in the cabin. She's one of them. Her other members, the other girls in the cabin where she's sleeping, went missing, and nobody knows where they went. And the only witness is her, because moments before the girl was declared missing, probably an hour before, she saw these three girls went out of the cabin, and she asked, "Hey, can I go with you guys?" And then the oldest, the older girls, the oldest of the three girls who went missing, told her, "No, you need to stay. We're going to do something really bad, and we don't want you to be part of it. So just stay there." When she woke up, there's police, detectives looking for the girls, and nobody knows where the girls is. So basically, she's a really young girl, and she's the only suspect. I mean, not the suspect, the witness, where these girls went, and that's the backstory. But in the timeline of the book, we are following our main character. She's already old. She's a painter now, and the owner of the camp decided to open the camp again after it was closed because of what happened to the three girls missing. The owner decided to open it, and the owner wants her to be part of the mentors for the painting class because she's a painter. And she said it brings back a lot of memories. I don't want to go there. It's traumatic. But at the same time, the camp owner told her, you know what? It's the best part. It's the best way for you to have some closure to really face what really happened for you for you a few years ago. And then yeah, she finally decided, yeah, let me go back. Let me just a mentor for one summer for these girls. Let me just share my skills and teach them how to paint. And then when she went back, she tried to investigate. She wants some closure, and then she discovered something fishy. There's some foul place why these girls a few years ago when she was still young gone missing, and she tried to investigate. It's really cool, really atmospheric, and very very unpredictable. It's probably one of the most atmospheric book I've read. So if you're looking for a book that is not a mystery thriller book that is not predictable and also very atmospheric, dark and cold, and with a good vibe to it and very fast paced, I highly suggest you need to read The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson. This is a weird book. I actually was gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's not my favorite, but I did enjoy reading this one. This is kind of predictable. We are following our main character, his husband, and he knows that his wife, he's a rich man, he knows that his wife is cheating on her. And he's in this business trip and he's about to go home. And then his flight got cancelled and she met a random stranger. It's a woman in the airport, and they decided to have a drink in the airport. He decided to have a drink with a stranger, and then he got drunk, and then he had maybe he was really drunk. He confessed that, hey, you know what? I know that my wife is cheating on me, and if only killing is legal, I probably would have killed her already because I don't want people cheating on me. And then the girl replied, this girl replied, you know what? How about I'm going to help you kill your wife? And that's it. That's the synopsis all about. It's kind of really interesting. It's a domestic thriller with a lot of twist that some people might not see coming. The main thing that why I was not really blown away by the story because I saw how this book will end. I was able to predict it. It would be a home run for me if I wasn't able to predict it. Some people wasn't able to predict it, so it's a case to case basis. If were able to see what's waiting for you in the end, this will probably blow your mind. But the synopsis is kinda unique, kinda interesting. It's one of the best domestic thrillers most of the people have been recommending for past couple of years. It's really dark, and there's a mixed themes of psychological thriller also aside from the domestic thriller. So there will be murders and there's a lot of trigger warnings here, like rape. I highly suggest you need to take this with a lot of reservations. But if you are in for a very dark and scandalous domestic thriller with a twist of psychological thriller, I highly recommend this, The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swenson. The next book I'm going to recommend to you guys need to check is going to be Then She Was Gone by Lisa Joel. This is the most predictable mystery thriller I have ever read in my entire life, but still love it. Even though it was really predictable, there's actually around 400 pages to this one. I've read the first 100 pages. I was able to see, oh, maybe this is how it will end, and I was right all along that it was really predictable, guys. Like, it was so easy to predict who killed who, what happened. But one thing I did not really expect from this book is the ending. Even though there's really some predictability, I was able to really predict most of how this book will end. There are some elements to this that you will not really expect from a mystery thriller book, and that for me is a plus, and that for me is phenomenal. This is a very emotional and one of a kind book that everyone needs to read. We are following our main character, which is a mother, and she lost her daughter a few years ago, and it's have been almost 20 years. After 20 years, she still can't get over. She still wants closure. She don't know where her daughter is. She still believes that her daughter is alive. And then one day, while doing some normal things in the town, she saw a really young girl, and this really young girl that belongs to a stranger exactly looks like, a carbon copy of her lost daughter. And that changes a lot. Changes the entire mood, changes her. She's about to accept, okay, my daughter is dead, I won't be able to see it, it's been 20 years, but out of nowhere, one day she was able to see this really young girl who really looks like her daughter. But it's really impossible because, right, it has been 20 years, and her daughter should have, been a woman already. So how come she was able to see a girl that looks like exactly like her daughter? This book wrecked me emotionally. I cried in the end. This book is really painful, and there's a lot of trigger warnings also for depression and mental health. Before you read this, I need you to make sure that yourself is ready for these kinds of emotion, these kinds of themes, because this is really dark and really depressing. But it punches a lot of emotion. So if you're looking for a mystery thriller, which predictability is a big deal for you, because again, guys, it's a no-brainer. You'll be able to predict. I think the author intended to, let the readers predict the story easily, but she attacked it in a different angle, which a lot of us didn't really expect, and that actually really worked and blew me away. I was not really expecting that, and it this has been one of the best book under Mr. Thriller genre I've read in my entire life. Like, the ending was. And the last book that I'm going to recommend to you guys is probably a book that most of you have heard before, and this is going to be The Woman in the Window by AJ Finn. We are following our main character, which is agoraphobia. I think I'm not really sure if that's the correct scientific term for the phobia in light. She is a woman and she's divorced, and she moved into this new house, and she do have a phobia in light and sunlight. So she always stays inside the house, and she does not go out of her house. What she always do is just she's buying some telescope, or and observes her neighbor. And one day, while doing that, it became a habit. She didn't expect that she was able to witness a murder on one of her neighbors. The issues I do have with this one, why I don't like this book, or I did not really enjoy this book as much as I want to, is because of the same issues that I have from the girl on the train, or the girl on the train, yep, the girl on the train. The psychological thrillers, the unreliability of the main characters. They were just that unreliable, and you just really can't stop hating them. So yeah, if you're looking for a kind of interesting new and plot under this genre, mystery thriller, with themes of psychological thriller, mystery, murder, I highly suggest you need to check this one out. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Those are the books I highly recommend you guys need to check if you haven't read them. My name again is Joel, and I hope you do enjoy this video. If you did enjoy this video, can you please subscribe, really click the like button, leave some comments below, and yeah, ring the bell. Thank you so much, guys. My name is Joel, Bisaya Reader, and bye bye.